Well, the rules are changing in the real estate industry, and if you're a buyer or a seller in today's video, I'm going to break down what you need to know and what you should expect. Let's talk about what's happening in the market right now in terms of interest rates and inventory before we dive into all the other changes. As far as the rates go, we've seen them take a serious dip in these last few weeks, which is great news for buyers. Right now, we're seeing rates in the low sixes with FHA and VA interest rates in the high fives. We haven't seen rates with a 5 in front of it for a very long time. This is motivating buyers to jump back into the market. The inventory has gone up in most areas. So what does this really look like? Long Beach, it's up about 45% overall from this time last year in terms of active listings. Now, a big portion of the inventory increase in Long Beach is condos, so we need to keep that in mind. Single family homes, the increase is at about 25% overall. San Pedro, we're seeing a 47% increase in active listings in the last 12 months. Huntington Beach, 13%. Areas like Costa Mesa, about 13% as well. The days on market, which is the average number of days from list to sale, is up and hovering around 20 to 35 days across the board, which is still pretty good. So what does this all mean? Well, if you are a buyer, the conditions are definitely more favorable than they were a year ago. The rates are lower and you have more homes to choose from. If you're getting ready to sell your home, you need to be mindful that pricing your home correctly is super important right now. You have a little more competition, which makes it even more important that you work with a strong agent who can walk you through what the right pricing strategy for your home would be and work with you on how to help you make your home stand out against the competition. They really need to be strong with marketing because, as I often say, you don't get a second chance at making a great first impression. All right, so now let's talk about all of the changes in real estate in general. It's important to mention that the reason for these changes is, in a nutshell, because there was a lawsuit in the Midwest against the National Association of Realtors, also known as NAR. NAR settled, and in so doing, they agreed to change how real estate commissions are handled, and these changes are being implemented nationwide. Now, when this all happened, the way that I perceived the changes is that it's basically a different way and a different process on how we are paid in terms of buyer's agents or on the buy side. It's important to remember that real estate commissions are not paid to the agent until after the transaction closes. So all of the work that your agent does is without compensation until the closing of escrow. What the new rules dictate is that beginning August 13th, buyers will now need to sign an agreement with an agent prior to viewing a property. What I do want to mention is it's important to keep in mind this one thing. The California Association of Realtors has not finalized all of the contracts yet. There's still changes happening. What I'm talking about today is what we know is definitely changing and definitely coming. As far as what the final paperwork looks like, it could be something different 3 weeks from now. So if you are a buyer, you meet somebody, to show you a property, be ready because you are going to be asked to sign an agreement. You have a choice. That agreement can either be something called a single party compensation agreement, which basically means that if you decide that you're going to make an offer on that property that the agent showed you, that you're agreeing to allow that agent to represent you. They have procured cause for compensation. They took the time to schedule the appointment and to meet you at the property. If you meet that agent and you like that agent, you also have an option to sign a different agreement that allows you to work with that agent for a window of time. And I believe it's up to 90 days. So you can try working with an agent for a window of time. And this way you don't have to go through the hassle of not knowing who you're going to meet every time you want to see a property, and really set up yourself to search for a home the right way. Now, Are you able to view a property without signing something? No. The rules are very clear. If an agent shows you a home and doesn't sign, and you don't sign an agreement with that agent is at risk at a pretty hefty fine if they get busted. So I don't know very many agents that are going to risk it. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is, are they going to charge you to now show you a home? No, that's not what this is saying at all. All this is saying is that you are going to be asked to sign an agreement with an agent when you schedule an appointment to view a home, if you don't already have an agent. It's going to be more important than ever, you guys, to hire a strong agent in an area that you're buying in. What many buyers don't realize is that when you push that button on Zillow or Realtor or Trulia or wherever to schedule an appointment, that means that Zillow or one of those other websites is simply connecting you to a live agent that specializes in that area. That agent doesn't get paid by Zillow or their broker or anybody else to set up the appointment for you and to drive out to meet you and show you the house. How would you feel about doing that and never getting paid? So for this reason, I'm happy about the changes, because our role is being clarified and our time is valuable. The biggest part of these changes is that your buyer's agent will need to negotiate their fee through the transaction when they structure and submit your offer. Most likely, the buyer's agent's fees will still be paid as part of the price, just as they are now. They simply won't be posted in the MLS any longer as they once were. A seller who wants to sell their home and expose it to as many buyers as possible is still going to want to cooperate with this process and agree to work with the buyer's agents as they have. Here's the thing that I keep saying. The fees have always been paid through the price and through the closing, and this is just a change in how we are now doing business. Listen, sellers, the compensation, the commissions, they've always been negotiable. No longer are the buyer's agent's commissions being put into the listing agreement. They are now going to be expected to be negotiated through the transaction. More than ever, it's going to be super important to make sure that you hire a strong agent who is skilled and experienced in negotiating their own fees, because that means they're going to do a much better job negotiating price and terms on your behalf. So to wrap this up, the rules are changing in real estate. It's going to affect buyers, it's going to affect sellers, it's going to affect real estate agents. If you have questions, feel free to shoot me a comment down below. If you're getting ready to buy your first home, check out this video next.